Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your dog, Cool Eagle, man. I'm just here today as a reaction video to the Lord Brunson, Voch Lombardi debate that happened about yesterday. So this is a reaction to it to two great YouTubers who've been doing that thing for a long time in their respective teams, man. Going hard every day, man. Very well respected, but I gotta check some arguments that were flawed on Voch Lombardi's part. My first point is, man, he said Dak is miles ahead of Carson Wentz. So where have I heard that before? Okay. So I'm not even gonna look at my notebook for this, right? So when Dak was drafted, how did the fortunes of the Cowboys franchise change? Oh wait. Okay. So when Carson Wentz was drafted, how are the fortunes of the Philadelphia Eagles changed? I think we won a Super Bowl. And then we went to the playoffs our third straight year, with Carson Wentz being the only quarterback in NFL history to throw for 4,000 yards, with a receiver who doesn't have 500 yards yards receiving. And a lot of Cowboy fans like to say, well, y'all had the two best tight ends in the game, but with also realizing that the tight end production only made up about 42% of Carson Wentz's yards. Okay, and if Dak is so miles ahead of Carson Wentz, why was Dak never involved in any kind of MVP discussion? All right, and they, and Cowboy fans like to give Nick Foles all this praise, for like three good games he had, but with also not realizing that the two playoff games after that year he played terrible. Okay. 2 touchdowns, I think 3 interceptions. But, like, what do I know? And on his third team in 4th years. Now, this is not a knock on Nick Foles. He's an all-time great Eagles quarterback, one of my obvious favorites, And then Voch Lombardi goes on to his second point, saying Dak won with the likes of Terrence Williams and Bryce Butler. Again, this lacks context, because when did Dak do that? His rookie year, when defenses had no film on him, they didn't know who the hell Dak Prescott was, and that gave room for the likes of Bryce Butler and Terrence Williams, who are both free agents, and not even in the NFL like that anymore. If you notice, because they were asked that next year. And what Voch Lombardi also failed to contextualize to his fans is that Dallas had a top 5 wide receiver in Dez Bryant that year, a top offensive line with a top 5 defense, and they had the running back of the year in Ezekiel Elliott. So again, they also failed to realize they were dealing with the Eagles' new regime, with the firing up Chip Kelly, losing 3 major core pieces in Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, and Jeremy Maclin. Basically a rebuild team, and we're not shying away from that. Us as Eagles fans admit 2016 is a terrible year because of that. But what happened next year, though? We don't want to talk about that. And then Voch Lombardi goes on to say that 2019 was a weird year. I'm asking how. How was it? You had a #1 offense with the top 5 offensive line, top 10 defense, with the #5 rushing attack. Even though y'all say Zeke was looking like he was running in Cabo sand, Zeke still finished as the #5 rusher in the NFL. And you still couldn't get it done. So I don't get how that was a weird year for you. What was probably weird was a team that talented going 8-8. Now that's what you call a weird year, okay? And then Voch Lombardi goes on to say that Dallas is better than what they put out. No duh. You had the #1 wide receiver the first 8 games of the year until people found out that he has no heart on the road, no balls on the road at all. And then, of course, like most Cowboy fans, Voch Lombardi goes on with this praise of Mike McCarthy, whatever, right? Without again going into context that he only has 1 Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. In his past 3 seasons in Green Bay, he was 21-22 as a head coach. And Voch Lombardi goes on to say that well, if Mike McCarthy is better than Jason Garrett, I think he'll get it done. With not realizing, again, that Jason Garrett has been better, if not just as worse, than Mike McCarthy, okay? 2017, okay? 2017 or the 2018 Cowboys season, okay? Dallas went 7-9 that year. 2018, they went 10-6. Okay? 2019, this past season, okay, he went 8-8. So you tell me 7 plus 10 plus 8 is what? 25-23. A much better record than what Mike McCarthy had in his 3 seasons with Green Bay. So I don't get what you, and then you expect him to make lemonade with Dak Prescott and or Andy Dalton, whoever's going to start for that Pittsburgh Dallas Cowboys team. And then Voch Lombardi goes on to say that Dak was good with what we had, well, with what he had. And I ask again, how? Okay, a lot of those yards came in garbage time, being stomped or blown out by these teams: the Jets, the Bills, the Bears, the Packers, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. 6 teams. And you want to know what his record is against in 7 games with teams over 500? Take a guess. 1-6. And the only good team he beat, with who really actually wasn't good, were the Los Angeles Rams. Okay? And y'all want to know what his touchdown interception ratio is? 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Not very good, but he's said to be a franchise quarterback. But he did throw for 22 touchdowns and 3 interceptions against teams who were non-playoff teams. You know, the New York Giants, the Washington Redskins, that one game against Philadelphia. You know, and the list goes on. And he lost the division with all that talent. Being a top 5 offense, top 10 defense, you still in 8-8, you couldn't get it done. But you blame coaching. But your coach was better than Mike McCarthy over the past 3 years. You know, and then Dak trailed a lot in the season. And you want to record us when he trailed? 0-7. But Dak was good with what he had. I don't think so. And the games he ended up trailing, where he had to throw the ball to get him out of the hole that he put them in, you know, Dak had to throw for more than 40 attempts, which also caused him to be 1-5 every time he did that. But Dak was good with what he had. His first half stats, when he wasn't getting completely blown out: 63%, 1,873 yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Okay? Again, half the year he was trailing, because he was 0-7 when he trailed by half. Alright? The second half, when defense just really gave up and started letting Dak get these easy little completions, 67% of his passes, 2,249 yards, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You do the context from there, okay? But Dak was good with what he had. But don't let me tell you nothing. Let Voch tell you that Dak was good with what he had, okay? And then Dak goes on to say, then Voch Lombardi goes on to say that plenty of top-tier QBs have games with no touchdown passes. Okay, and Lord Brunson brought this up on Twitter today, and y'all should definitely follow him and subscribe to him, and also Voch Lombardi on YouTube if you haven't already. Again, this is not a diss. This is just a gas to the flame, and just a rebuttal to that very good debate if y'all haven't already watched it. Okay, now back to the point. He says top-tier QBs have games with no TD passes. Okay, but he fails to realize that Wentz, Rodgers, Wilson, Mahomes, all top-tier quarterbacks, all combined for 3 games with no touchdown passes. But Dak has 4 in 1 season, okay? And Dak has done this multiple seasons, okay? Did y'all know in his rookie year, Dak had 4 games where he threw with no touchdown passes? They went 2-2 when he did that. 6 times his second year, they went 2-4 when he did that. 3 times his third year, they were 1-2 when he did that. 4 times his 4th year, he was 0-4 when he did that. So out of 64 games he played, there were 17 games in which he didn't throw a touchdown pass in it. Okay, his record all time is 5-12 when he did that. But yet Dak is a top 5 quarterback according to Voch Lombardi, or as Voch Lombardi says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterback. Like, just whatever the hell that means, man. Like, he can't make up his mind on what rank Dak is, right? And I bet y'all wonder, Will Carson has him too. Yeah. Carson has 6 games with no touchdown pass in his career, and 5 came in his rookie year. Again, okay? Try it again, okay? Dak is not top 5 QB because no top 5 QB, has one more than the combined total of no touchdown passes for a whole year. Okay? And then Voch Lombardi goes on to Dak's game-winning drives. This stat is heavily misconstrued because Dak did not throw a touchdown in 4 of those 14, and Zeke ran for over 75 yards. And as we all know, anytime Zeke runs over 75 yards, the Cowboys have a good chance of winning that game, okay? And let these numbers interest you. I'm going to run it out right now, okay? Zeke has ran for over 75 yards in 10 of those game-winning drives, okay? 79, 96, 114, 86, 159, 80, 152, 151, 122, 113. Okay? So don't let these numbers fool you. Zeke is and has always been the heart of that Cowboys offense, and the reason why Cowboys have had so much success, because Zeke puts Dak in these great situations that Lord Brunson perfectly pointed out in these 2nd and 2s, these 3rd and 2s. You know what I'm saying? Making it easy for Dak. But I will say this, Dak Prescott has won 3 without Zeke. And y'all want to know what teams they were against? The New York Giants, the Oakland Raiders, and the Philadelphia Eagles in 2017, our Super Bowl year, when we let all our starters out, and Dallas end up beating 6-0, and they still carry that like they won a Super Bowl against us that year. You know, and knowing damn well that they would have got washed if we would have all our starters in that year. You know, and then the last point that Voch Lombardi goes on to deflect on Cowboys losing to teams with winning records, and even goes as far as to say, if Wentz is so good, why did he bring us back against the game of the Dolphins? Not realizing that our defense, once again, like it has all year and even last year, was getting exposed. We know what Carson, but we know what Carson Wentz's record against over 500 teams was this year. 3-2. Because if I'm not mistaken, Carson did beat the Jets. He did beat the Bills. He did beat the Packers. Okay? He did beat the Chicago Bears. You know what I'm saying? So that's 4 games right there. Dak hasn't beat any of those teams. And Dak didn't even throw a touchdown pass in the game against the New York Jets. But yet Dak's a top 5 quarterback. Now, again, this is not a gas or a flame, man. This is a rebuttal trying to catch Voch Lombardi being slick, and that would not be tolerated. But yeah, man, tell me what y'all think, man. Tell me what y'all think. Man, let's talk football. What more can you say? I literally just debunked all those points that Voch Lombardi pointed out in his, argument with Lord Brunson about Dak over Wentz. So, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Y'all be the critics.